I'm going to take another, probably my last call. I'm going down to 678. 678, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
678, what's your name?
Turn down your background. Turn down your background, 678.
Hi, this is Pam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, turn down your background.
Yeah, I turned it down.
Okay. What's on your mind?
Okay, so, first of all, I just want to say I'm not ADO. I am black, but I'm not ADOS.
Okay.
I'm Nigerian American. I was born here, but I was raised in Nigeria, and I came back here for school. I'm a big advocate for the ADOS movement. I've actually been that way since I was in high school, and I used to tell a lot of my friends who are African American that, you know, you guys deserve reparations, and they used to laugh at me. They used to tell me that, you know, why are you saying that? Like, we're American, we got everything. And I'm like, not really, you know. Where I'm from, the upper class, they have homes here, they live an elite life, and this is your country, you built this place, you should have an elite life as well.
Ain't that the truth?
It is the truth. But I wanted to get back on topic about what you said with BLM. So what I'm noticing is that because I've lived in about 22 countries, and I have friends from around the world. And what I'm noticing is that a lot of people in different parts of the world are attaching themselves to this. I have, you know, friends in Palestine, and they're putting up George Floyd's picture, and then they're putting up a Palestinian man, and they're trying to juxtaposition the two. Meanwhile, these people have convenience stores in the hood, and they give nothing back. So, and I'm just looking like, what are you doing? When have you ever given a damn about blacks? Like, this is crazy.
Well, you know, they did that. They did that. I saw them do that in France too. Like they said something about George Floyd, and then they immediately went to something else in France, and it immediately became about France. So it's almost as if, like, even around the world, everybody is kind of anchoring themselves in what's happening here, but like not necessarily making any contribution to the movement, but using it to like center themselves in the conversation.
They are. I called out a lot of people for it. I've been calling out people online, along with, like, I've not been marching, but I have been doing donations, and I've been signing a lot of petitions. So, but what I've been doing is I've been calling out a lot of people, and I've been saying, if you come from a country that's very, very anti-black, that has a caste system, that is obsessed with skin whitening products and skin bleaching products, then how dare you run around and say Black Lives Matter? Meanwhile, you treat your own dark-skinned people like they're worse than nothing. For me, I don't get... And even the dark-skinned people from there, they come here and they look down on African Americans. And I'm just looking like, what is this nonsense? You people are confusing yourselves.
Now see, you're a problem for them because you done traveled a lot, and you don't. They can't see. Most of the time, what happens a lot of times with people when they interact with us is that, like, they like, well, you ain't been nowhere, you don't know. So I'm going to tell you a story about the world that's not necessarily true. And so I think the problem that you present as an ally who's not ADOS, and you talk to them, like, you present a problem for them. I've lived in 22 countries. I know what you do. I know what you do over there. You can't lie to me when you get here and make up a whole nother story. But I think it's true.
Absolutely. And I tell them to their face. I tell them I know where you're from. I know what village you're from. I know how the caste systems are set up. I talk to them about language. I talk to them about political structure. I'm like, I know your stuff. Please don't come here and act like we're all one. We're not one. You okay, let's say you go to the clubs and you listen to, like, Future or something like that. You know, let's say you're from Pakistan or Afghanistan or whatever, and let's say you like hip-hop. When you go home, you're not listening to hip-hop. You're listening to Bollywood. You're eating chicken biryani. Like, stop it. I know your culture. I know what you do. Stop with the nonsense.
No, but you're exactly right. Like, people like to be kind of entertained by us in a certain way, and kind of like signal a virtue signal, like, I'm with you and I'm doing this. No, you're not. You're not really with me, and you're not. Don't do all this stuff, black and brown people. You're not. When you go home, it's not black and brown. It's Pakistani. Let's study for you to get into med school or whatever.
It's not. And I have to have. And I've actually been trying to do like a petition. No, I won't really say a petition, but like a what's it called? Just some kind of like an awareness movement where I try to educate a lot of the older Nigerian. I'll start with Nigerian because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'll start to discuss with the older Nigerian generation because a lot of them are very big on saying, oh, you know, the Black Americans, they're lazy. And I actually just educated my mom. I told her about Jim Crow. I told her about Emmett Till. I told her about Dred Scott. I sent her the list of all the things that have happened to African Americans, and I said, if this happened to you, would you not be in the same state that they're in?
Ooh.
And she was like, I get it. I get it now. I feel really sorry. And I'm like, oh, and my mom has 2 master's degrees.
Yeah.
She has 2 master's degrees. So this is not an idiot. And my grandfather he has a master's degree on my mom and my dad's side.
Okay.
Both of them have master's degrees. And I'm like, think about it. When because my grandfather from my dad's side got his PhD from the United Kingdom. And I'm like, think about it. That was in the 30s. What were their people doing in the 30s? They were sharecroppers. They didn't get the chance to go to school.
Oh.
They weren't even considered people. But we got the chance to go to school. I'm 3rd generation, college educated. And a lot of African American families, they're 1st generation college educated.
And if at all. Yep. If at all.
Go ahead.
No, I said you're right. We're 1st generation, if at all. But I think.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. I want to thank you for doing that for the people around you and your mom, because what happens is like people presume that they know the ADOS story, and like they don't realize it. Like no, you've been educated by the dominant culture here, and like they tell you and they tell everybody that like these ADOS is just lazy. They don't really want to do nothing, and they want to live in the ghetto, and they got bad culture, and like. A lot of people just kind of just kind of go with that and run with that, especially if you immigrated here. It's not your business. It's not your story. So, I appreciate immigrant allies who come out and say, no, this is not what it is. You got to understand that. You got to understand their history. And like, I think we could, like if we had
some allies for a long time.
Yeah, like if we had somebody like you,
for a long time, and I've tried to educate. I've even tried to, encourage a lot of like African Americans. Like, a lot of these, Africans that you're running to, like these are my people. I know the kind of shit they say behind your back. So I try to talk to them, and a lot of them have told me that, like I'm jealous and that I'm trying to bring division. And I'm like, no, these are my people. I'm telling you the truth about I'm telling you what they say from both, because I live both here and in Nigeria. I'm trying to tell you what they say. Like, not all of them hate you. It's a lot of them that do like you, that are down with you, that did fight with you in the civil rights movement. But then there's a lot of them that honestly, genuinely don't care. They view you as lazy, and they pass that on to their kids. I'm 28. They pass that on to my generation. And my generation, even though a lot of us, that are here, they went to school with Black Americans, and they joined the Black Student Alliance, and they're out marching with BLM. Inside, they're still got contextualized. Okay, I did this, and this. What I cannot marry a Black American. I have to go marry a Nigerian. Like I'm Igbo, so it's like okay, I have to go marry an Igbo. And even within our community as Igbos, it's like I have to stay within like my own village or my own state. But that's a story for another day. But my whole point is there's still that internalized. I'm cool with Black Americans. Like again, I'll go listen to Future. I love Beyonce. I'm gonna, I'm gonna watch Insecure, which is one African, one African American.
The chat wants to know. The chat wants to know. Let me just say this, fam. The chat wants to know if you have a Twitter. The chat wants to know if they can follow you on Twitter. So if you
I'm not on Twitter.
Okay, you're not on Twitter.
I post a lot of stuff on Instagram, but that's about it. I'm not on Twitter. Unfortunately.
Okay. Well, if you want to share, put it in the chat. But I just want to say that I part of what I think we need, and I kind of experienced that too. Going to Howard University, I had a lot of friends who were not ADOS, and you kind of hear like most of them are real cool and real supportive, but then they have other people come around, and you sort of, because you're the ADOS in the room, eating jollof rice, you kind of hear stuff, and you're just like, everybody ain't the same. Everybody ain't your friend. Yeah. Everybody doesn't feel the same way that your friend here, who is a good friend, invited you here. Everybody doesn't feel that way. Yeah. Like, right. So that's kind of like
I can't tell you how many fights I have had with my mom on that word akata. I cannot tell you. Like, if I started to tell you, we'd be on this phone for the next 3 days.
Wow.
I'd be like, you cannot. But the thing is, so the word is actually a word from my tribe, and it's actually the name of a village, and it translates to stubborn. It doesn't, but when it's brought over here, it actually got bastardized and changed into something else because the whole African diaspora here adopted it. It's a word that we mostly used to refer to people from a specific village. It was never meant to be a derogatory term for African Americans. So that, that really got misconstrued because, again, there isn't even communication within the African community because when Ghanaians say, like, oh, I don't deal with Hakadas, I just look at them, I'm like, I'm an Igbo. That's our word. You shouldn't even be using that.
You took that and made it about ADOS. You done took that word and made us Hakata, and it ain't even your word and you stole it. Ooh, there's a lot going on within the diaspora. Whew. Well, I want to, everybody said if you want to share your IG, please put it in the chat because people are asking, like, how do we follow her? But I just want to say, like, you are the quintessential perfect ally. Like, if we had somebody, like, we really need to do, like, a re-education plan for, like, a lot of, not all, I've run into a lot of good allies, so I'm not talking about everybody. But, like, somebody like you to be for allies.
One more thing.
Yeah, one last thing. Go ahead,
one more thing, please, Miss Yvette. So, my mom said after she read about Dred Scott and all the other race riots that she had a hard time sleeping. And I'm like, and my mom lives in Nigeria. She said she had a hard time sleeping. And I'm like, if you had a hard time sleeping, imagine how they've had a hard time living.
Ooh. 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 Put your walk 1,000 miles in our shoes. And just understand. I think they just have to understand, like, who sent you this misinformation? Who told you this about us? Right? Like the people.
And I'm still learning, by the way. I'm still doing everything that I can to educate myself, and not just on African Americans, but on the whole like African diaspora. Because I went to primary school in Nigeria, and they taught us they gave us like a British education. So I'm actually having to come here and learn a lot of things about Africa and African Americans.
Okay. Re-educating yourself on all of it. Okay, I get it, fam. I get it.
Yeah, I'm having to re-educate myself on a lot of things. I mean, even though, like I said, I've been an ally for 10 years, and it used to always make me really mad when I told African Americans, you deserve reparations. If anything, you guys at least deserve some land in Africa. Like, if we're going to come here and get, passports, because I have a passport, so if I'm going to come here and get a passport and be able to enjoy everything on my social security number, you should be able to come to Africa, get dual citizenship. You shouldn't have to pay for it. Get dual citizenship, and you should get land. Because I have inherited land from both my mom and my dad, and I have inherited 2 homes that I've inherited from my mom. Both homes are 10 bedrooms that I inherited from my mom. So I'm like, you should be able to come to Africa as an African American. Put out if you have like a what's it called, like a blood test, and say I'm from Yoruba tribe, I'm from Igbo tribe, and get land. Because to me, it's not a fair exchange.
Absolutely. I want to thank you, fam. I appreciated that call. I think that call was enlightening for everybody who was listening to that call. I want to thank you. I want to thank you from my heart for being an ally, and because this is the kind of re-education, and like Nigerians will listen to you in the way they won't listen to me, right? And so like I appreciate you for that. And I speak Igbo too, so I can convey it to the older people that whose English isn't really that good. Exactly, and I appreciate that. And And so I just want to say thank you to you. That call was really revealing, and I just want you to continue to do what you do and to tell allies that you all are appreciated. We focus on us because we at the bottom, and that's what we got to do, whatever. But I just want to let the allies know that like this was a great call, fam, and you are appreciated, and we appreciate what you do, and keep doing it. Yeah, I will. Thank you, fam. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ooh, that was a great call to end on. That was a wonderful call. Like, and let me just say, that's the kind of allies we need. A lot of people like, we don't need no allies. We ain't got to have no ally. No, you got to have somebody talk to that person, because that person's not going to listen to me. That person's not going to hear what I say. But when if you're a Nigerian and your daughter, and she speaks Igbo, like for the older people, and she's telling you, like, this is what it is. Like, you don't know what it is. We need that. Like, we need that person to do that. I'm not going to be able to re-educate allies and tell them, like, white supremacists have sold y'all on a bill of goods. I gotta focus on ADOS. I can talk to y'all, but like, I'm not gonna get through like she's gonna get through. So salute to her for doing that. And salute to her for talking to us and telling us we need reparations. We're like, no, you're just trying to divide. No, I know. What are we doing? So I appreciate it. That was a great call. That was a great call. That was an informative call. Ooh, yeah, I enjoyed that call. We're gonna be talking about that call. And I appreciate real allies doing work. Like, she don't have to do that. She could just live her life. She don't gotta advocate for us and tell everybody the truth and tell people what movies, what books to read and give them articles. She don't gotta do that. She could just do like some of them do, like a lot, and just live life and make money and not even worry about us. I appreciate the work. Like, we gotta appreciate the work. It's easy to just be like, no, I don't need no ally. Yeah, we do. And like this one is good. Like that's the quintessential one. Like actually, if you're an ally, like this should be the person that you kind of that you frame how you advocate and teach. That should be that's the one. That's how you teach your community about ADOS. That's how you move. That's how you do it.